So, green exercise. Yeah, it is the newest member of the ecotherapy family. That's right. So, ecotherapy is the best way to explain it. It is the huge umbrella term for all the other things we do outside that make us feel good and are healthy for us. Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside. Yeah, I'm getting my therapy. But how, or maybe more importantly, why I do it, might help put my practice or the thing I'm doing in the moment into its little box. All right. So if I'm outside and, you know, I am going for a walk and I'm stopping and pausing. I'm doing, I don't have to be in a forest, but I'm just outside. I might be doing some nature therapy. All right. So I'm having some moments of nature connection. Right. But when I slow down and I start to exercise a little bit of mindfulness and engage all my senses, and it's hardly even a walk anymore, right? So um, I'm doing it around trees, well, now I'm having a forest bathing experience, all right? Shinrin Yoku. But if someone helps me, guides me through that process, if they're a coach, and they're holding the vessel, really, for things like time and pace and safety, and they're just helping me deepen my experience, more immersive. Well, the moment I introduce someone else as a guide, well, now it's forest therapy. All right, so think of that's the difference between like working out and like having a, personal instructor. All right, so nature connection nature therapy can also be much more broad. Involve some nature art, maybe some nature music, things like that. Now you can get into some horticultural therapy. Now we're dealing with plants, right? So we are gardening, working in flower beds. It's for ourselves, and often there's also the aspect of working with others, right? So a little bit of community building there. Yeah, and then wilderness therapy. Yeah, so that's more of a restorative practice using nature to calm the savage beast, and sometimes we mean literally because not as popular now, but it was. It probably still is in some parts of the world, some aspects. Working with troubled youth, right? Working with those people who opt to choose to continue their rehabilitation and their healing in nature rather than in an institution. So wilderness therapy a little more extreme, all right? So even without the therapeutic aspect, so think of things like treetop trekking and zip lining and guided experiences like that. There might be some safety equipment involved, all right? So that's our wilderness therapy. Green exercise. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time talking to you about walking outside, walking in nature. Walking is a form of exercise, but doctors and researchers, they're studying the effects of, well, what if we just do all of our exercises? So again, when people actually exercise outdoor, it changes. It's actually more beneficial. Now, obviously, there might be some limitations, but they're stretching some of the thoughts around that with their research anyway. So what they're actually finding is, on a physical level, that yes, it does relieve endorphins, it increases serotonin, it lowers cortisol. So right there's already going to be some benefits. But what they're finding is our brain no longer is able to do the math. All right, your brain subconsciously is just comparing everything. So without the walls and the structure and maybe other people around you, and it's just nature, their perception of effort, physiologically, metabolically, the resistance involved, even the value of the weight seems to be different. So people are running longer, they're getting in more reps or lifting more weight, because if you compare, after a while, especially if you are someone who exercises regularly, your body, and we all know it hits these plateaus. And yeah, we're learning to stress it, but somebody who says, oh, when I get to that 10K mark, like I feel it, I'm gassed. Well, if you take away that and you just let them run and walk and be out in nature, all of a sudden they've done 12, 15K and they're like, oh, I'm still good to go. So, right. If you take all the numbers off the weights and you make all the weights equal size, people pick it up based on, how they want to push themselves. And it turns out they're actually able to do more because they feel different about it. The brain's not helping them do the math, holding them back. Right. Green exercise. People are actually There are some places in Scandinavia, in Europe, that are actually moving all of their stuff outside when they can. All right, so they're skipping ropes outside, they're stretching outside, and again, they're exposing people to sunlight, which is got its own benefits right there, right? So cardiovascularly, it's just improving things. So I've seen it myself in the Greater Toronto area along the Humber River. There are some public walking trails, and off to the side, every quarter kilometer or so, there would be these workout stations where someone can, maybe there's a place to do dips or chin-ups, all right? Or there's a little platform and there's a protected plaque